good morning. It's Bev again, and I'm about to make some hot cross buns. I'm putting together my newsletter and I can't not include something around hot cross buns. We're right on Easter and it's time to get your ingredients ready and get these buns together. They're amazing, they taste so much better than shop bought, and I know you're just going to love what goes in these hot cross buns and how they come together. Now you have a choice whether you use lemon zest. I always use it. I love that little like tangy flavor in the hot cross bun. So I've peeled just with a potato peeler, a good quality one, so you don't get the white part. You don't want the pith in the zest. So half a lemon zest, and then just 100 grams of baker's flour. That's just to kind of mix that zest in with just a small quantity of flour. Okay, so we're going to turn it right round to speed lower. Okay, so we're going to pop that in a bowl aside. And smells amazing. Always hit your bowl just to get things down to the side, down to the base I mean, from the side. Pop it back on. How do you like my black Thermi? Pretty excited to have one. Okay, 250 grams of full milk. Pop that in. And a tablespoon of yeast. Oops. Tablespoon of yeast. I use just the dried yeast straight onto the milk. And this is where we're activating the yeast. So love the Thermomix that takes it to the right temperature, which is 37. And so over 3 minutes, it's going to warm up that milk and activate the yeast. Now I have tried another recipe. I tried the brioche hot cross buns. They were great, really yummy. If you want to have a look and see what's out there, go on to Cookie Doo. The search bar on Cookie Doo is awesome because you can put almost anything in it and it will bring up what you would like to find. So just put in hot cross buns and you'll see there's an abundance of recipes. There's gluten-free, there's hot cross buns with custard crosses, and there's, chocolate hot cross buns. I can't believe how many varieties of hot cross buns we go into these days. But you'll find everything there. Now I've been meeting a lot of new customers lately, going through their delivery event online. And I've been covering the basics of getting started with your Thermomix. Now, I always recommend that you invite me to come to you again to do some cooking, and we can do a cooking experience. So you could invite a couple others, people in your world that you would also like for them to discover the Thermomix. So we kind of have a small group and we have some great recipes to choose from. And the advantage of having a cooking experience at the moment and up until the 12th of May is that you can earn an amazing host reward, which is another bowl. You can never have too many of these. It gets through cooking a whole lot quicker. You put a bowl aside, you pick up another and just keep going and cook more quickly. So the host reward bowl offer is until the 12th of May, until stocks last. And it works that if somebody at your cooking experience chooses to purchase a Thermomix, you get a bowl blade lid set for $110. Normally they're $375 for a TM6. If no one chooses to buy, which is fine, they're still pondering and they'll think about it for a bit longer, that's okay. You will get it for $2.75, which is a whole lot cheaper than $3.75. So, you know, if you're thinking, gee, a second bowl would be handy, please get in touch with me or your consultant if that's not me, and they will help you to get that second bowl through hosting. Could be online or face-to-face, either. Okay, so now we're adding the reserved flour with the lemon zest straight in. Okay. Next step is 400 of baker's flour. So it's actually 500 of flour altogether because there was that 100. Add that in too. And a pinch of salt. And I guess most of you know by now that I mill salt, and I'm hoping you do too, because you can mill from rock salt straight down to salt, so you're not using you're not having any anti-caking agents. Now 70 grams of butter. Now I did mean to chop this up. I just had it in one piece. It doesn't say to chop it, but yeah, it's going to knead that butter into the flour. 50 of caster sugar. Yeah, I think it's better just to have it in pieces rather than one large piece. 1 egg. Now I've got my spices already prepared here. So I've got a teaspoon and a half of cinnamon, the same of nutmeg, and half a teaspoon of cloves. That taste of cloves in a hot cross bun is beautiful. So I'll just go ahead with those because I put them all in together. Now it's time to do a knead. I think it probably does a mix first. Yeah, it does. So we'll go right round to speed 6. Speed 6 for 7 seconds. Okay, so then you scrape down with your spatula. A lot of recipes get you to do that. And simply all you're doing is just scraping around the bowl and then scraping it down, moving it down towards the base of the bowl. Actually, a little tip my daughter taught me that I didn't remember right then is, you know, when it says to mix for 6 seconds, maybe go up the first couple seconds, not so fast, you know, just go up slowly to the speed 7, because then it will stop it from, you know, jumping up all over your lid. But I didn't remember that then. That doesn't matter. It's all good. The Thermomix is very forgiving in every which way. Aha, now we're adding sultanas and currants. In the older recipe, before they updated it, this got added in later, but it always needed to go in before the knead. So it actually gets mixed in properly. 100 grams of sultanas and 70 of currants. Or you could use fruit of your choice, but I quite like that combo. Flick it. When you need to go to a speed, you can actually flick and it will go around and it won't go past where you're going, where you need to go, unless you force it past, but you wouldn't do that. So it's kneading now for 2 minutes. It's a bit of a crazy action kneading. It's kind of like the interval. It goes that way 5 times, about 5, and then it goes the other way. So it does an incredible job of kneading and creating a dough. All right, now this can either go into a bowl. If you don't have a thermomat, it can go into a bowl and put a tea towel or something over it. But I have a mat and I'm just going to grab it. It's one of my older mats. The newer mats have circles so that you can, you know, roll out things and measure things. Great for pizzas. But this is the one I grabbed. I've got a couple of these. These mats are host rewards as well. I'll just let it stop so that I'm not trying to talk over it. Okay, who's chosen the guitar sound on their Thermomix? It's great, I love it. Okay, so now I'm not preheating the oven just yet. I've turned my oven on just to warm it up a little bit because I'm going to prove this in a slightly warmed oven. Pardon me. For about 30 minutes. Okay, so all right, so we're transferring the dough. That's how it looks. Beautiful, perfect dough onto my mat. You know that you can twist the little sort of dial thingy at the bottom of your bowl. And what that's doing, you can see it's moving the blade and it releases the dough. Now, how perfect's that? Pretty much every bit of dough has been released onto the bowl. Onto my mat. So what I'm doing now, it feels warm because it is warm, because it did warm up that milk. So I'm going to wrap it up. Just, make room in your mat so that it's got room to expand. And I'm going to pop it in a warm oven. Just turn my oven off now because I've only slightly warmed it up. And it's going to sit in there for about 30 minutes, that's all, half an hour. And then when that 30 minutes is up, you take out the dough and you punch it. I like that bit. You give it a good punch and it knocks out the air. And once you've done that, you divide it into 12 little balls, like rolls, roll it up, put it on a tray that's got some, either a thermo baking mat or some baking paper. So you've got 12 little rolls, and then they need to prove again for about another 20 minutes. So I may get to that stage of the recipe before I do the second part of this video, so I can show you how to do the crosses, how to prepare that, and also to prepare a syrup topping. Okay, so that might be it for this part, and I'll be back soon. Thanks. My little button's not working. Hi, back again. Just grabbing the hot cross bun dough out of the warm place that it's been sitting for about half an hour. It's certainly doubled in size. It's almost peeping out the edges now. So what I need to do now is to put this into 12 rolls. You can see I've got a beautiful amount of dough here. So I'm going to just get started doing that really quickly. So what I've also done is made the mixture to create the crosses. I did that just to save a little bit of time. So I'll just quickly put these together. Look, if you're going to make these at home, or when you make them, I hope you do, get the kids involved. These will be memories that they have forever, that, they helped Mum make hot cross buns at Easter. And they just start to then think about making food, not just getting it from a supermarket. So if you can instill that into your children at a young age, as they sort of grow up and start to enjoy cooking, they'll start to think that, you make things, you don't buy them, you don't just expect to get everything in a supermarket. So that's a pretty awesome way to get your kids growing up around food and enjoying the process of, making things from scratch. Okay, how did I go? All right, I think the last two will be the smaller ones, but that's okay. Make sure with your last bun, you get around on your mat and pick up all the little bits just to make it a bigger bun, all the bits of fruit that might have popped out. So I've got 12 now. So as I said, I have made the cross mixture. It's a very simple recipe, and it's part of the hot cross bun recipe. There's 3 things. So you make the dough mix, the bun mix, and then you make the mix that creates the crosses, and then you make a syrup that you paint using a little brush on top after they come out of the oven. So what I'm going to do is just quickly look back into the recipe so you know that, open up dots and dashes. I teach everybody to do that. So you go into recipe details. So what I'm looking for now is to preheat my oven, and what temperature I need to do that. 220, so I better get that going. Shouldn't take too long to heat up. It'll be ready probably by the time I've got these ready. Okay, so let's go back into the recipe. So I've put my rolls close together, what they recommend. Now I've made up my mix, and it's made of flour, a little bit of oil, some salt and water. You just go step by step by step. And I find these are very helpful. They're disposable piping bags. They come in a pack of 100, so it's going to take a while to go through those. And I find a glass, and I drape it over the glass, and then pop the mixture into the glass so that it's just easier that way to get that in there, and you can just scrape it in using your spatula. So I've got the mix ready. So I haven't cut the edge yet, the end. Just make sure you don't cut it too big. You don't want huge crosses. You just want kind of smallish over the buns. Okay, I'm just guessing that might be okay. Oops. Now, what you've got to be careful of, and I do know this, I've done it before, is that you don't want to squirt it everywhere as soon as you cut it like I just did. Okay, so now I'm going to just very carefully go across the buns. And what I like to do is just go from one side down into the little gap between buns, go right across one side and then back across. Just be careful you don't sort of make a big mess with this. It takes a little bit of practice, but you'll be fine. Just go right across again, taking it across 4 buns, just gently squeezing as you go, then go back, bring it up. Okay, again, across 4 buns, just right across the middle. And remember, they don't have to be perfect. Rustic is okay. Okay, so I've done the across, and now I'm going to go the other way to make the actual cross. Okay, across 3 buns that way, and again across 3. Nearly there, just 1 more to go. You may have a bit of this mixture left over. You can save it in the fridge if you like for another batch, because these will go quickly, I can tell you. All right, so there's my crosses, and I will put that up that way, otherwise it will drain out. Okay, so there, oh my gosh, you won't believe it, I've left out 1 row. How funny. Okay, here I go again. This is row number 3. It completely got missed. Okay, here I go. See, you don't have to be perfect to be a team leader or a Thermomix consultant. We're all learning on the grow. As we grow, we learn. All right, so there they are, looking pretty amazing. The oven's heating up. So what I'll very quickly do now is just quickly make the syrup that goes on top. So I'm going to go past the steps that I did to make the cross mixture. Okay, so the step to make the syrup is you put in a couple tablespoons of water, which I've already got ready. and a couple tablespoons of sugar. That's it. Pop the lid on and off you go for 2 minutes on speed 4. So that's making a beautiful syrup. And you can make that in advance because, you know, you just have it ready to go for when the hot cross buns come out of the oven. That's when you need to get your brush and brush them while they're still warm. I tend to put it on them almost straight away as soon as they come out. So I'll just get a little pot. That's for the syrup. And I'll be painting these buns as soon as they come out. So what I'll do is I'll take a picture of them and show you the end result. But I'd really love to encourage you to have a go at making your own buns this year, because you won't buy them anymore after you make them. It's a bit like pizza. When you make your own pizza dough, you think, right, that's it. I'll strike that off the supermarket list. Won't be getting that anymore. In fact, you know, there's so many things that you can make with your Thermomix that you suddenly decide, I'm not going to buy these anymore. So, you know, use your Thermomix for what it can do, and it's so many things it can do. Don't shortchange your Thermomix. Explore everything possible. Attend cooking classes. Have me over. We'll cook together. Or we'll do online. You know, that's fine too. We do a lot of cooking sessions online together. So, you know, become a student of your Thermomix and really make the most of it, because it's all about feeding your family well, making things from scratch, and just having fun in your kitchen, and getting into recipes that you never in your lifetime thought that you would attempt. The Thermomix has just got your back, and it supports you to make all sorts of great things. Okay. Okay, so this is the syrup done. How quick was that? Beautiful. So we've got this lovely syrup now that I'll just pour into my little silver jug. And I didn't mention, like before, I'll just quickly show you, in between steps of any recipe, all right, we do have the pre-clean, which is, if you're not using that, you must use the pre-clean. It's available on the 5, TM5, but also on the 6, it's actually got 4 different settings according to what you've just made. But if you want to quickly clean your bowl in between steps without actually going into pre-clean, just half fill it with water, bookmark your recipe, put 15 seconds in on the time, and then go to the speed and go right up to the top speed. And you hit the little blade symbol, back, forth, so that it's kind of doing a really quick cycle of 15 seconds of washing. I'll show you what I mean. Round to top speed 10. Okay, so what that's done is swish the water at a high speed, 10,700 revolutions a minute. Isn't that crazy? And then you've got whatever was a bit messy in your bowl is now in the water. You just tip it out, give it a quick dry, maybe give it a quick rinse too, and you have got your bowl ready for a bit more action. All right, so these are about to go in the oven. It's almost up to temperature. As soon as it gets to 220, they're going to cook for about, I think it's about 12 minutes. Just have a quick look. Let me go back a couple of steps. 10 to 15 minutes. So keep an eye on them. Get them out. I like mine to be a little bit nice and sort of brown on the top. Get them out, then you're going to be painting them with the syrup and, you know, letting them cool for a little bit, and then get stuck into eating them. Now, one of my favorite butters to put on hot cross bun, you make that as well, and it's called honey cinnamon butter. I'll pop the link into my newsletter, but you can, if you have a TM6, you can actually transfer that recipe from Recipe Community straight onto your Thermomix screen. With Cookie Do 3.0 and the TM6 technology, you can do that. So I'll pop that butter. You've gone to heaven when you're eating a hot cross bun with honey cinnamon butter. You can't beat that. It's just beautiful. All right, thanks for jumping. Well, you're not jumping on. This is going to be in my newsletter. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope you've picked up some tips in being able to create beautiful hot cross buns. Thanks everyone. See you later. See if my button works this time. No, it's not. I'm going to have to work on this. I'll turn it off manually. See you later.